You know, when it comes to the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers Disney Plus film, one sticking point that still kind of gets on people's nerves a little bit just thinking about it was the pairing of Zipper and Gadget. Now, I've gone over this several times, and others have pretty much kind of said the same thing. And when you watch AC Racebest and Toodle's reaction to the film itself, they pretty much echo those same sentiments. The fact that basically not only was the ship done as a troll job towards the fans, but also in a way to kind of like, send a message, if you will. And that message is, in real life, which, this movie made the characters associated with, basically a la Roger Rabbit, but more like, they're part of everyday society. They're not just exclusive to, like one section of town or California or whatever. They're integrated with everybody. Basically, they were sending a message that this happens in real life, where an actor and an actress will get together off screen, opposite of what you would expect one of them to do when they're involved in a romantic angle, on screen. And this is true. And sometimes when those characters are involved in a romantic angle together, there is a chance that off screen they will get involved romantically for real as well. But when it comes to Zipper and Gadget, not only was that kind of a troll job as to basically, trolling the fans like, oh, you wouldn't have expected this, but like I said, it was sending a message. And that message basically was, hey, if Disney wanted to go in a certain direction with Gadget and say she's going to end up with so-and-so, you need to accept it. You need to basically be cool with it. And I think that's the message they were sending here. I mean, I in my opinion, with them pairing her off with Zipper, it was mainly their way of saying, well, if Disney wanted to, in the series, the original series, decide, okay, we're going to make her Zipper's girlfriend, what are you going to say about that? That's the message they were saying here. Basically the same goes with any other ship that fans would have wanted. Like, AC Racebest, obviously he's a Chip and Gadget shipper. He wanted to see maybe confirmation of that being true, but that wasn't the case. However, this ship, in a sense, in my opinion, sent that message of, if this is who they wanted Gadget to be with, if they decided, hey, we're going to put her with Chip in the series, not the movie, but the series, then fine. That's the decision. If they feel that's the best direction to go storyline-wise, then, so be it. The same with Dale. Toodles, his wife, AC Racebest's wife, that is, basically felt the same way. Or basically would feel the same way, that, hey, if we wanted to pair Gadget up with the person she feels Gadget should be with, that being Dale, and they feel that's the best direction to go with storyline-wise, then so be it. Even the same with bringing back a character like Sparky. If they wanted to bring the Sparky character back and kind of continue off where they left off in that one episode, then so be it. The point is, in my opinion, that even though this was a troll job, there's no doubt, it's not to be taken seriously. You can look at this version of the Rangers as being an alternate universe where the show is actually a show, and that the Rangers are actually characters in a show, actors and actresses in a show that kind of represent the the character counterparts in real life. In some cases, people will, like I said, people will look at it from that perspective, like this being an alternate universe. Would this is, well, basically the show is a show. It's an actual show, instead of like what we see in the original series, which we could consider like the Prime universe, the Prime Rangerverse. In that universe, we don't have a definitive answer of whether or not Gadget would end up with Chip, Dale, or whoever. We don't have a definitive answer. I mean, yes, they would give hints off later on, earlier on and later on in the series, that Chip probably ended up with Tammy, as indicated with Adventures of Squirrel Sitting. And some would say that Dale later on in the series ended up with Foxglove, as indicated at the end of Good Times with Bad Times, as well as kind of concluded, if you will, or continued somewhat in an on and off romantic relationship in the Boom Studio comics. But be that as it may, to me, the message that gets across here with this troll job, or whatever you want to look at, or well, not whatever, but however you want to look at it, to me, it's just a way of them saying, hey, if we decided to pair Gadget up, with Zipper outside of the show, and everything, with like they're now a real life couple and everything, then that's our decision. That's the direction we're going with, even though we know it's a troll job. It's it's something that you would not expect, and everything to pull a fast one on you. To me, it was their way of sending that message of, if Disney decided had the show continued, the original show, along with a lot of these made-up episodes that they were talking about, in the movie, that had the show continued, who's to say that Disney wouldn't go out and say, okay, Chip's with Gadget or Dale's with Gadget, and that's it? Who was to say they wouldn't do that and do it because they felt it would be best for the story? I'm just saying. So I know that Race Best, and I got to give a shout out to AC and Toodles for the reaction video they did. I thought it was great and everything. It's like I think it's like the 5th time I've watched it. I still get a kick out of it. But the point is, I got to give it to them for really giving a natural reaction. Sometimes over the top, but natural reaction, especially with the Zipper Gadget revelation. But again, I think when you get down to it, it's more about, sending a message, not just trolling you with, going in a direction romantically you wouldn't expect, with Gadget and whoever her partner was going to be, that's being Zipper, but sending a message of, hey, if Disney wanted to do this in the original series, then that's the decision. If they wanted to do Chip, it would be Chip. If it was Dale, it would be Dale. You just got to live with it. You just got to accept it, and maybe because it would, storyline-wise, help the story and the series progress even better. Who knows? Or maybe it's because storyline-wise, for the characters and everything, it was the obvious direction to go in. And that's pretty much, in my opinion, what this was really about. Not just a troll job to the fans because it's something we wouldn't see coming, but also a way of sending a message of, hey, if we're willing to put Zipper with Gadget as a troll job, who's to say that Disney had the series continued, not decided, okay, storyline-wise and progressive-wise, because it's leading towards it, it's been hinting at it, they wouldn't say Chip's with Gadget or Dale's with Gadget. Who's to say they wouldn't have done that? Because, maybe the story, presenting itself for that moment. Who's to say they wouldn't do that when it was all said and done? No one would have said anything because that would have been their choice. Yeah, not a lot of people would have agreed with it, but if they felt it was best for the story and the progression of the characters because, it was leading to something like this throughout the entire series, then so be it. So be it. But anyway, you guys, I think honestly in closing that that basically was one of the main things about Zipper and Gadget being put together, in the movie, not just as a troll job, not just as a way to, show that actors and actresses that you wouldn't expect who perform on screen, as different characters and not involved in anything romantically, would end up romantically, together behind the scenes and all that. But I think it was also a way to send the message of, hey, if we could do this for this movie as a way to kind of explain that, who's to say, Disney wouldn't have tried something like this in the original series, not just with Zipper, but with maybe Chip or Gadget and all that. Who's to say they wouldn't have done that because they would have felt it was best for the series? Who knows? But let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below, live chat during the premiere. You will get an audio podcast version of this on my audio podcast at BW Discussions, all your favorite audio podcast locations, except for Pandora. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Comment below, live chat during the premiere, and I'm out.